Now let's talk about constructors. The primary function of constructors is creating objects. Okay, so constructor is primarily used for creating objects in Java. Let's see how. We'll better understand it with help of code example. So let us see how. So we are back at our code editor. And did you wonder, for example, we created this display info method. If we hold the control button in Windows and in command button in Mac and we click on this display info method, we will go to the definition of this method. This is where this method is defined in the car class. Okay, so from my class, if we click on any property also using the control button, we can go exactly to that property. This is how we navigate in code. Okay, so my point was, if we go control click on this display info button, we reach the display info button. But if we control and click on this car and this curly bracket, this is basically the constructor of this class. When we do new car, this constructor is called and an object is created. But when we control and click, why don't we see this constructor in this class? For example, we can see display info, but we cannot see this car constructor. The reason for this is, whenever you create a class in Java, Java by itself introduces a zero argument constructor in your class. It is not visible to you, but you can call it to create your objects. Okay, so this is what Java has done here. Whenever we do this new car, this is the constructor of car class, which we have not even defined. This Java is giving to us as a free gift or just as a boilerplate code. So this constructor gets created by Java by itself by default, and it is available. And using this, you can create the object of your class. For example, we do new car at line number 7. So after line number 7, we have created our object of type car whose name we have given at Honda City. Similarly, at line number 12 also, whenever we do new car, we are creating another car object whose name is Lamborghini in this case. But suppose one more thing. Suppose if I comment these lines, line number 8, 9 and 10. Now we have a car object Honda City which doesn't have a color, which doesn't have a model, which doesn't have a year of manufacturing. So is there any significance of such a car which doesn't have a color, doesn't have a year of manufacturing, doesn't have a model? So it is kind of meaningless. It has no significance. If we want something that whenever we create our car object, it should have a color, it should have a model, it should have a year of manufacturing, we can do it by creating a custom constructor in our car class. So what we will do is, if we go to this car class and we will introduce our custom constructor. So this is our custom constructor that we have introduced here. Now this custom constructor takes 3 arguments. It takes color, it takes model, and it takes year. And these values it assigns to these properties that we have defined here using this operator. So the meaning of this is that it refers to this particular properties related to this particular instance of the class. So when you call this for Honda City, this will refer to the color of Honda City, model of Honda City, year of Honda City. When you call it for Lamborghini, this will refer to color of Lamborghini, model of Lamborghini, year of Lamborghini. Okay, and these are like arguments. You can rename it also. IntelliJ provides a very good rename feature. For example, you can say it as color input. It doesn't matter, it is just a variable name. So whatever you give, but main thing is whatever you are giving as an input to this constructor, you are setting it to the class level property of this constructor, because you see these properties are at the class level. So this we have created a custom constructor, or we can say all arguments constructor. We have 3 arguments here, so you have created a all arguments constructor. But whenever you create a custom constructor in Java, Java will remove the default constructor that it was giving to you as a default. It will say that since you are intelligent enough to decide how your objects will be created, in that case you only decide. I will not decide. Java is saying this to you. You create whatever constructors you want, you don't create what you don't want. But the free gift that I was offering you, I'll take it back. Okay. So now if we go back to our my class, you see this is giving this red color, and in IntelliJ if you will click on problems, it will show you these 2 problems. Basically, this is compilation error. Your code will not compile because of these red lines that you are seeing. Okay, because now this car constructor is not present in your class. Earlier it was present when you had not created any constructor, but since now you have created a constructor, now this car constructor is not present in your class. Okay, so now you will have to call this constructor with all the three arguments. So what you need to do is you need to pass these three arguments here: red, then automatic, and then 2024. You see the red line has gone. Now at line number 7 only, when your code will execute, it will already have the red color, automatic, and 2024 set, which we were setting in these lines. We can see that as well. But before seeing that, we have to remove this compilation error, which is at line number 12. Otherwise, code will not compile. So we'll pass these values as well. Again, our Lamborghini is also red color. We could have chosen a different color as well, yellow maybe, black. Black looks good, and 2023. Now these lines don't have any meaning. Okay, so now let's see. If I debug it again, as soon as I execute this line, I have a Honda City object. You can click here and verify that all the properties, color, model, year, everything is defined. Okay, similarly, as soon as you execute this line, I have a Lamborghini object. You can hover over the object also, and you can check the values. Everything is set. Okay, and again, if you call the display info on them, you see first time display info is called, the console output is print. Second time again it is called, again the console output is print, and you can see that it is working absolutely fine. So the rule in Java is you define your constructors. If you don't define, Java will give you one no R constructor. Okay, and you can also, it is not like you can only define all R constructors. You can define another constructor. Suppose you decide that only color and model is mandatory, year of manufacturing is optional, and you want to create an object only with the mandatory properties. You can create another constructor. Okay, what you need to do is create another constructor which only takes the color and model. Okay, and for Lamborghini, maybe you only need to pass color and model, and you can see that this time when you will call, let's test it. Okay, so the first time when you are creating Honda City, flow will go to the 3 argument constructor, and one by one it will set the values that you have passed. Okay, so by inspecting this object, you can see everything is there. This refers to the particular object in question. Okay, this means current object. Always remember, it is a very important concept in Java. What does this mean? This always means whenever you are using this keyword inside a class, it refers to when that code will run, the particular instance of that class, it refers to that instance, it refers to that object. Okay, it is setting these properties in the particular instance of that class. It is setting color, model, and year. So we can see here that the 3 argument constructor is called. Now when we call Lamborghini constructor with 2 arguments, we can see now the 3 argument constructor is not called. Now 2 argument constructor is called, this one, because it is taking and it is setting these 2 values. So we can see that Lamborghini only has 2 values. The year is defaulting to the default value, which is 0. In the previous video, we defined the default value of all primitive types. Okay, so and since year we have taken as int primitive, so if you don't set any value, it will default to its default value, which is 0 in this case. So this is how we use constructors in Java. You can see that corresponding information is printed and 0 is printed for the year of Lamborghini. Okay, so this is how we use constructors in Java. So the next topic is about the string class. It's a very special class in Java. We'll learn about that.